Hi everyone and welcome to my channel. My name is Danielle and this is my very first video on this channel. The channel is going to be dedicated to tarot reading, oracle reading, and channeled messages that I do sometimes receive. A little about me before I get into today's messages. I am empathic. I have always been very, very highly sensitive and sensitive to the energies and emotions of the people around me in my environment, even to a fault at times. Always been told like you're very sensitive, you're quote unquote too sensitive. But as I got older, I realized that these are actually gifts and strengths that I could use to better understand my environment. So I've been tuning into some of these natural abilities that I've always had and working to strengthen them and using meditation to continue to receive channeled messages and additional information. And lately, as of late, my spirit guides have really been kind of urging me very strongly to start this YouTube channel so that I could start sharing some of that information. As I said, I've always had these abilities, but when the COVID lockdown hit, I, as with everybody else, was very isolated. So during that time of isolation, it gave me time to be a little bit more introspective and focus on things like meditation and just kind of listening to my inner intuition. And I realized over that period of time, since when the COVID pandemic started, I've actually heightened a lot of my abilities. I've received several prophetic dreams during that time, about some of them about major current events that actually happened very shortly after. So, I've just been noticing like my gifts have been picking up quite a bit since I've spent more time at home. I currently do not work outside of the home, so I'm able to continue with that daily routine that I started during the COVID lockdown, and it has actually really heightened a lot of my innate abilities. I do need to mention that I do have some health issues. I'm hoping that they don't really interrupt the channel too much, but I did get COVID twice during the past several years, and I have some kind of lingering effects, what people would call long COVID. So, for example, when I get a cold, sometimes it lasts longer than it normally would because my immune system is not as strong as it used to be. So, right now, and a lot of my videos, this is just something I'm going to have to preface several of my videos with. I'm going to sound sick a lot on the video. A lot of times I'm battling kind of like head cold issues. That's just kind of like my new normal ever since getting sick with COVID. I do things to obviously mediate and make it a little bit better, but it's kind of my current state of affairs. So I always sound a little bit sick. I hope that this doesn't, detract from the messages in any way or detract from your experience in any way, but I do feel the need to tell you that I'm probably going to sound sick a lot. Okay, so just wanted to get that out there and just let you know that that's probably why I sound a little sick on today's audio recording. But I just want to get right into the channeled messages now. The first thing I am seeing is a boat, and it's not a large ship. It's kind of looks like a canoe or a small fishing boat with a man or masculine energy getting into the boat. And he's not facing me, he's facing away as though he's about to travel on the boat. If you're familiar with the Rider Waite tarot deck, it actually looks very similar to the Six of Swords, but there aren't multiple people in the boat. I'm just seeing one energy, one masculine energy in this boat. So I'm also seeing somebody sitting by the window seat of a plane. So this can very literally indicate travel. This may be a divine masculine energy that somebody is attached to who is going to be traveling, possibly towards you, possibly away from an environment that he's currently in, away from his current home or situation that he's in. So this could mean relocation in some circumstances, is what I'm getting. And if not relocation, it could indicate someone who's going to travel for a long period of time, at least as long as they would need to leave what seems to be a tumultuous or stressful situation. That's really the energy that I'm receiving. Like I said, this may include physical travel for some people listening, but I think almost in all cases, to anyone who's connecting to this video, it's going to pertain to a divine masculine who's leaving some kind of stressful situation. And in some cases, that will be physically leaving. I'm getting the sense that he needs to travel towards calmer waters, away from something very chaotic and in some cases even traumatic going on in his life that he's understanding at this point may need to come to an end. I'm getting the name Paul, so that's very specific. That's probably not going to resonate with everybody. I'm also seeing the month of September alongside a large image of a blue sapphire, which is the birthstone for the month of September. So September might connect to someone here. It might be a birth month. It may be an anniversary month. It may be the month that something happens in terms of communication between you and this divine masculine, or maybe when if he does travel physically, that might be the month that he does. Sometimes it takes a while to plan out, especially if you're making a permanent move. It takes a while to get all your ducks in a row sometimes. So, that's like, what, 7 months off or something like that. But, in some cases it does take that long to relocate. So September may be significant in terms of when this might happen. So that's just something very specific that I'm getting. I'm also seeing the Tower card. And for those of you who don't know, the Tower indicates an abrupt change or the destruction of a foundation. Sometimes, many times, this can feel unpleasant and jarring, but it doesn't have to. It can just be an abrupt, unforeseen circumstance that comes in and shakes everything up. In this situation, I'm getting that the masculine involved is encountering a tower moment in his life that kind of catalyzes or leads to his need for change or to travel towards calmer waters. In some cases, I'm getting that this might be communication with you. If you are the feminine energy attached to this masculine, it might be that he travels towards you and you see him unexpectedly. Like you didn't expect him to show up, or you didn't expect to receive a phone call from him, or even like a message on Facebook or something, or on social media. I'm dating myself here by mentioning Facebook. I know not a lot of you use that anymore, but you know what I'm saying. Like virtual communication, this person could just show up out of the blue unexpectedly, and that in and of itself could be a tower moment. But I'm getting that for most of these masculines, it's going to be something on their end that is potentially unpleasant and that happens very suddenly, and that makes them have this moment where they realize, I need to change certain things about my life. I'm also getting the Three of Swords energy pretty heavily, which can indicate grief, sorrow, loss, deceit, generally negative emotions. In some cases, even like a low grade depression is the mood that I'm kind of receiving right now. So I feel like once this masculine realizes, hey, I need to change something because my current life just isn't like really working for me, I feel like maybe the energy he moves into, at least for a short period of time after that, is maybe like a low grade depression, like I said, or like he's grief stricken about it to some degree. In some cases, I'm getting that these are toxic behaviors that he knows he needs to change. So this could be somebody who's dealing with substance abuse or overindulging in alcohol, or possibly has a very unhealthy karmic relationship with another person. And I am getting that it's the third option, that in some cases, if not all of them, this is going to be another relationship that this masculine is in, and something happens. Maybe the person is unfaithful, or maybe the person does something to just really, really hurt him, that, leading to the Three of Swords energy, but also leading to his realization that he needs to leave the relationship, and he needs to physically travel away to make sure that, to start again, or to change things in his life that need to be changed. Or even if he's not physically moving in any way, that moment and that situation is going to tell him that he needs to change the way he's doing something in his life. Again, I know, he's going to feel negatively about this at first. He's going to be saddened, upset, feel some kind of loss as he's making this change. But he does realize consciously that he needs to make this change in order to align with his greater good. That's what I'm getting from those 3 images that I received: the boat, the travel, the tower, and the 3 of Swords. Like, that's the message that's kind of coming across from those 3 pieces of information. I'm also receiving the month of April now, along with the energy of both Aries and Taurus, which makes sense because both Aries and Taurus take place during the month of April. I'm thinking, if that's not a birth month or a significant time period for someone listening and connecting to this video, then I'm thinking that that might be a significant time period for your connection with this divine masculine. That might be when the tower moment happens. That might be when he kind of wakes up and realizes his current situation just isn't working anymore and that something has to change. Side note, really quickly, I should also mention that I have several animals and pets in my home, so you may hear them occasionally in the background. My cat just jumped down from, one of my cats just jumped down from a pretty high surface, and you may have heard her do that. So I just want to make you aware, especially on these audio videos, you are definitely going to hear my cats and my birds because they tend to be a little noisy and make a lot of noise. So I just wanted to let you know in case you were wondering what those sounds in the background are. But anyway, getting back to our message, I'm thinking April and May is going to be a very significant time. And I'm thinking that's when this tower moment happens for the masculine. September, it could just be a birth date. But like I said, that could be towards the end of this movement timeline, particularly for those who are physically traveling to get out of whatever stressful situation they find themselves in right now. September might be towards like the latter end of the timeline that maybe you can expect for some of these things to start happening. One other thing that is coming through pretty heavily is I'm seeing a vinyl record, like a record that you would play on a record player, and it has a bright orange center. Not sure what that is, who that connects to. And I'm getting that this might be connected to someone who is a musician or someone who has a vinyl collection or like enjoys classic rock or older music. I'm also really strongly hearing the song Brown Eyed Girl by Van Morrison. It's a pretty famous but older song. You might want to Google it if you've never heard of it before. Again, it's called Brown Eyed Girl. So somebody may have brown eyes. And there's one line, it's a really upbeat, happy song. I really enjoy it every time I hear it. But there's one line that's really standing out to me, and it's when he says, "Do you remember when we used to sing?" So if your DM, this divine masculine, is a musician or enjoys music or enjoys, artistic creativity like that in some way, I'm thinking maybe this is something that you and him used to do together, whether that be making music together or some kind of artistic, some kind of art form together, singing together, music, visual art, something like that. I'm getting the vibe that maybe you and this other person create together, or you used to be creative in some way together. But again, if you've never heard that song, check it out. Check out the lyrics, because that's for somebody listening. And I think that's probably going to be about it for today. That's where I'm going to end the message. I don't really feel or see anything else coming through at the moment. I'm hoping that my next video, I'll be up and running with the camera component so that I can actually have the visual element and show you the tarot reading so that we can have a little bit longer of a reading and go more in depth on some of these messages. But other than that, I'd really appreciate it if you like, comment, and subscribe. It would help me out. This is my first video. Like I said, my spirit guides have really been encouraging me to get this up and running. And it's something I'm looking forward to creating with all of you and the people that, these messages are meant for. because they do not connect to my life at all. Nothing that I just said has any personal connection to me. So these are meant for someone who is going to come across this video at some point. So comment below if anything resonated with you. Feel free to leave any suggestions or things that you would like me to try to channel or tap into as well. And other than that, I hope to be back on here pretty shortly within the week. Have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.